What's up, guys? Coach Radigan here with Perspective. I'm going to talk to you guys today about a common question I get asked. Coach, I'm plateauing in the weight room. What do I do? I'm working my tail off. I'm not seeing the progress. And so I'm going to give you 4 points today on how you can break through a plateau in the weight room. The first point, all right? The first point I call the big three. Now, within the big three, it's super simple. Sleep, nutrition, and hydration. So I always tell athletes, no matter what you're doing, no matter how hard you're training, no matter how much work you're putting in the weight room or on the field or on the track or on the court, if you are not taking care of the big three, that can hinder you from growth. The next point I talk about is progressive overload with using percentages. Now, if you've ever been a part of a program with me online or in a weight room, things like that, I always have athletes focus on gathering their 1 rep max. Okay, and so off of that, I use the percentages off their 1 rep max. Now, what this looks like is weekly, as we progress through weekly, I will lower the amount of reps someone's doing. I call it volume. So you lower the amount of volume they're doing, and then you increase the amount of weight or the amount of intensity that they're doing. So each week, you're gonna lower the reps, increase the weight. So lower the reps, increase the weight. Gradually, what you're gonna do is you're gonna increase the stress placed on your central nervous system. So just by doing this, okay, it's gonna stimulate muscle growth and strength gain. So that's that simple. Progressive overload with percentages. I'm lowering the amount of reps I'm doing. I'm increasing the amount of weight I'm doing weekly. And I continue to increase from there. Now, for point number 3, what we're gonna talk about is triphasic training. I learned this from Cal DT, coined the term triphasic training, and he breaks it down into 3 phases. So phase 1 is that eccentric phase, okay? Eccentric meaning, let's go with bench press. If I'm bench pressing, eccentric is me lowering that bar to my chest, right? Now, the next phase would be isometric. If it's isometric, I'm holding that bar right above my chest. I'm at the bottom or the top of that workout. And the last one, concentric, I'm actually applying that bar, force of the bar, and going away. So eccentric, I lower to my chest. Isometric, I hold. Concentric, I apply and go back up, all right? Now, what I do with athletes that they're plateauing is simple. Control the tempo. What does that look like? So now, for a month or so, I might focus on just that lowering portion in all my main lifts. So if I'm squatting, I'm gonna focus on 3 seconds on the way down of that eccentric phase of my workout. If I'm doing shoulder press, you're doing the same thing. You're focusing on the tempo, and that's all I'm gonna tell you with that. What you're doing here, though, is your volume or your reps as you progress. We just talked about progressive overload. As I progress, my volume or my reps will go down, but my tempo will go up. So whereas week 1, I might be doing 3 seconds of eccentric, week 2 and week 3, I might be doing 4 or 5 seconds of eccentric movement. So that's another way you can do it. Now, the 4th and last point that I'll talk about is range of motion, AKA trouble spots, right? So now you might be working out and you really struggle with the lockout on your bench press. You might be trying to do deadlifts and you really struggle on that last pull or pulling from the ground. You might be squatting and you really struggle on getting low and then exploding back up. What I tell athletes to do is limit their range of motion. So now what it looks like is you might be doing deadlifts from block pulls. You might be doing bench press with a board. So now you put a board on your chest or a couple, you've seen videos of it, people putting a few 2x4s there to come down here and then focus on that lockout of your bench press so you can get there. Same thing, squatting from pins, things like that. And so one way you can manipulate those weak points is by attacking them with limited range of motion. Once you fix those weak points, you'll see your weight go up on your maxes. So to conclude, there's those 4 points of how do I break through plateauing in the weight room. The first point is the big 3. You got to make sure your sleep, nutrition, and hydration are on point. The second point, I want to focus on progressive overload using percentages. Okay, the third point, we're talking about triphasic training. Remember, eccentric, isometric, concentric. I want to manipulate that tempo and make it and recruit more muscle fibers. And the last and final point is limited range of motion. Attack your trouble spots. Find ways to get in your trouble spot positions and just attack it so you can break through that. Hope this helps you guys. Reach out with any questions, comments, or concerns. Thanks for following Perspective.